Welcome to Your Health Today with Charlie Rouse. In our program today, we'll talk about health issues that are important to you and your family and how products from the world of natural medicine can help us all stay strong, fit, and healthy. And now, here's your host of Your Health Today, Chris Hall.
Welcome to Your Health Today with Dr. Charlie Rouse. I'm Chris Hall, and it is good to have you with us today as we begin a new week. And as we tape this program, Dr. Rouse, it's the week after Christmas. So my assumption is you had a great and wonderful Christmas, you and Miss Janice, right?
Woo-wee, better than good. I got to see the children and enjoy the occasion. And you know, as a preacher, I got to preach a lot of good stuff about Jesus.
Amen. And of course, when you're a pastor, you go to those wonderful familiar verses in the Bible that talks about the amazing truth of Christmas, of how our Lord came into this world for our good health, spiritual health, and of course also for our soul as well. So just a wonderful Christmas time. We had a great Christmas time at the Hall House, went and visited the grandkids, and just really enjoyed it. Took a lot of precautions because, you know, we're being encouraged to do that in the COVID world. But we just had a great time. A little cold on Christmas Day where I was, but not really used to that in the South. But it turned out to be a beautiful time. Had a great time with the family. And our prayer is here from Your Health Today with Dr. Charlie Rouse that you as well had a wonderful time during the Christmas holiday season. So, Dr. Rouse, I do a lot of reading and try to keep up on what's happening in the world on many different fronts. And I noticed a news story that was on some of the major sites, and I said, you know, this guy who wrote this story has been listening to Dr. Charlie Rouse because it's a story about how vitamins can help us to fight the COVID-19. Now, of course, that's the big thing in the news. And it was an article written by Dr. Peter Osborne of the Origins Nutrition Center up in Virginia. And he talked about how natural medicines and how vitamins can help us to really guard ourselves against the COVID-19 as far as it being as bad as it can possibly be. In fact, one statement he made really stuck out to me in this story. He says the most recent studies show that 9 out of 10 COVID-19 deaths could be prevented if people had adequate vitamin D levels. Now that is quite a statement. And he goes on to say that there are 4 different supplements that he really would encourage people to take: vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and quercetin. And he says all of those things are absolutely necessary. And then later on added a little bit about elderberry. So, you know, it's always good to get a second opinion when you go to the doctor. So your first opinion is always the best opinion. But what do you think about Peter Osborne and what he had to say about how important it is for us during this COVID-19 time to take these vitamins?
Amen. Let me say, amen. You know, the truth is that people do need D3. But then the question comes, how much? Because they go to the pharmacy or the herb shop and there's a 1,000 and a 2,000 and a 5,000 and a 10,000. It's a simple answer. It's 35 units for every 1 pound of body weight.
35 units every 1 pound of body weight. So
if you're 100 pounds, that would be 3,500 units. If you're 200 pounds, that would be 7,000 units. So anything less than that, you're at risk. So you match it, 35 units once a day, vitamin D3. Don't get D2, get D3. 3. That's the one that does all the anti-COVID. Now, yes, vitamin C and zinc, absolutely. And, you know, looking at quercetin, you mentioned the word quercetin.
Yeah.
Quercetin. Quercetin is unique. Remember when the prescription drug got all blasted? They called it hydroxychloroquine,
Yeah.
HCQ,
Yeah.
hydroxychloroquine. Well, that drug makes zinc go into the cell and stop the replication of the virus. Better, pharmaceutically better. I'm speaking now as a pharmacist. Pharmaceutically better than hydroxychloroquine.
Wow.
Is quercetin.
How about
And
that?
quercetin does exactly that. It makes zinc go into the cell, and zinc on its own will stop the replication of any virus, including mumps, measles, colds, flu, and any of the plethora of coronaviruses. You know, there's more than one corona out there. There's probably a million.
Obviously, they're 18 because this is COVID-19, right?
COVID-19. Yeah, you know, somebody messed with it in the laboratory, didn't they?
Yeah, I know. Well, and I thought Dr. Osborne put it kind of cool, just exactly what you're talking about. He said quercetin opens up the cells in your body so zinc can get inside your cells where it works. He said, think of quercetin as the key and zinc as the repairman that is allowed into the house, so to speak. So that's exactly what you're saying, right?
That is exactly. Now, back when we were taking biochemistry, Chris, they would make us say, you couldn't say zinc in the house. You'd have to say ionosphere. And I said,
goodness.
oh, that's biochemistry.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I love the simplicity of that.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
The quercetin is the key, and then once the zinc goes in, it does the work.
So this regimen of these different vitamins, this is something you want to do on a daily basis right now, right?
Daily basis. Now, here's a.
Can you take too much? I mean, is it possible to take too much of these?
Not at all. None of those you mentioned. I would say that 2 years ago, God was working with me in natural medicine, and I started formulating this product. And it came out to be a unique product. The name of the product was Lana Sarah Longevity. Mm-hmm. And in it, guess what, was all of these things. Everything that you're looking at, I'd already put into that. This was 2 years ago. And then when this and corona, the Chinese virus is what it is. Yeah. And when that Chinese virus showed up, natural medicine. We were light years ahead of any vaccine.
How about that? And Dr. Osborne makes this statement. He said there are few dietary sources of vitamin D, like cod liver oil, fatty fish, and mushrooms, that can help you reach the recommended daily allowance. He said you'd have to eat a whole lot of that stuff to get the vitamin D you need. So supplements are something that you really need to look into. And of course, vitamin D, isn't that the sunshine vitamin too? He recommends 30 minutes a day out in the sunshine. So.
And maybe the Florida sunshine, but I know from the Dixie line up, these folks can't get it in the sunshine. No. So vitamin D, it's 35 units per one pound of body weight.
So if someone came into the Medicine Man's corner, your wonderful shop in Albany, Georgia, and said, okay, I heard that. I need my vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, quercetin. Can you find it in the product you were talking about in enough quantities, or do you need separate kinds of things? Or?
Well, if you got Lana Sarah Longevity, it's got it all in there in therapeutic doses. So it's a no guess, just take it and go. And you mentioned elderberry. Now the elderberry is real popular in chewy gummies and syrup. And watch out now, because in your gummy or your syrup, if they put a lot of sugar in there, remember, sugar will paralyze your white blood cells that fight infection for about 5 or 6 hours. And sometimes we can gummy up and actually gummy up the system.
Okay, so it's important to read the label. For a long time, those of us who are in the, I guess, what I would call the regular world. We never looked at labels, and now I find myself when I go to the grocery store or wherever, looking at the labels.
Are you going to switch to whole milk so your grandchild can have the best of the best?
Well, my grandson, he keeps reminding me of how important it is. Hey, Papa, don't get that water milk. You get that whole milk. And
I love it.
And so that's what I've been
He's going to be the next medicine man.
I think so. He's a very smart young man indeed. So good information about the COVID-19 and vitamins. And again, that comes from Dr. Osborne, and I think he's just been reading Dr. Charlie's stuff or listening to our program up in Virginia. But it's good affirmation of what we have been talking about here. Now, if you want more information about this and you want to be able to contact Dr. Charlie Rouse, you can certainly do so. And there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can email Dr. Rouse at drrouse@att.net. That's DOCTORROUSC@att.net. You can even call Dr. Rouse, 229-436-0100. And Doctor, you may have to leave him a message, but you understand that. He's a busy guy, but he'll get back to you. And it won't be in another 2 months either. He'll get back to you just as soon as he can. And he'll talk with you about your situation and what he thinks can help you in your particular situation. He's one of those doctors that actually listens to you. And so you'll be blessed with talking to Dr. Rouse. Also, we're real excited about our podcast website. It's yourhealthtodaypodcast.com. Be sure to put the podcast in there, yourhealthtodaypodcast.com. And at that website, you'll find all of our programs. All of our programs are archived there, and you can listen to them at your leisure. And you'll find links and pages and other information as well at yourhealthtodaypodcast.com. Dr. Rouse, I had someone ask me a while back. He said, okay, I've heard Dr. Rouse talk about that glutathione, he said.
Yeah, I love it.
And I said, well, I think I can interpret what you're trying to say, glutathione. And he said, yeah, that thing, he said. And he said, can you tell me more about that? And I said, well, I could tell you more about that, but probably the man who really needs to tell you more about that is Dr. Charlie Rouse. And so let's revisit it a little bit. You've talked a lot about glutathione and how important it is and what it does for us. And it really has multiple benefits for us. So why don't you revisit one more time glutathione and remind us how important it is.
Chris is getting real good with these vocabularies. Glutathione. Let me say this: glutathione. If I didn't take any nutrition in all the world and only had to choose one nutrition out of everything that's on planet Earth, glutathione would be it. Why? Because it is the master molecule. It is what God allows to go into every cell of the human body, do the talking, do the cleaning, do the protecting, do the building. It's everything the cell does. Now, let me tell you about Chris. We were golfing, and one day I said, Chris, would you like a little drink? It's a little drink, a nutritional drink. It'll give you stamina and energy for the next 9 holes. And he said, whoa, let me try it. Yeah. And I said, it's called Chia Vita.
Chia Vita. Never have forgotten Chia Vita.
Chia Vita. And that's Spanish for full of life. And old Chris pops at top. And we're out there on the first hole getting ready to play 18 holes of golf. And it's a little 1 ounce. And he pops at Chia Vita. And you ought to see the look on his face. He said, Chia Vita. And even to this day, you can't get him to take another swig.
I know.
But that was the sourest, most potent nutrition. Some things are good for you, but they taste lousy. Yeah. Glutathione tastes great.
Yeah.
Glutathione is what everybody needs. And if you've never tried it, your body is definitely going to love it because it is the true anti-aging nutrition.
Yeah, and then, of course, you could contact Dr. Rouse, and you guys ship all over the world, don't you? I mean, you get requests off from all over the world for products, and you guys ship it out from here, there, and yon.
Here and yon. And the best thing about calling 229-436-0100, you get to talk to Holly.
Yeah.
That's my niece.
Yes.
And Holly is by far one of the sweetest gals
Very
that
smart
God
young
ever
lady,
created.
too.
She just loves the Lord. And she just has, some people just have sunshine all
Right.
the time. And she's
Right.
got it. I mean, you can get rough with Holly and she'll be sweet to you. So you just call and enjoy the day.
Yeah, and she has been well trained. When somebody says, okay, I need this, what would Dr. Charlie recommend? She's been well trained. She knows exactly what you would recommend, right? So good stuff. So, well, again, Merry Christmas, because Christmas is over as we do our program today. But Christmas is never really over, is it, Dr. Rouse? And the joy of Christmas and the message of Christmas. But we're looking at a new year coming up. It's kind of hard to believe. Boy, 2020 has in some ways crawled by, but in some ways it's gone like a flash. And we're looking at 2021. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about maybe some nutritional resolutions for the new year of stuff. This is what I need to do. Let's write it down. Let's make a plan, and let's do it. So thank you for joining us on our program today. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Your Health Today with Dr. Charlie Rouse. We'll be right back.
Here's Chris Hall, host of Your Health Today, with the Medicine Man, Dr. Charlie Rouse.
Dr. Rouse, what is the most important element of the human body?
Water. It's the main transport system of the body that God has designed to deliver the essential nutrients to all the cells. And did you know that heartburn is a signal of water shortage? It's a major thirst signal designed by God. And if you don't recognize heartburn as a sign of dehydration, you may treat it the wrong way. And the best water is distilled water. Distilled water is the purest kind. It's odorless, colorless, tasteless, and it can even help prevent joint discomfort, back pain, headaches, and mental sluggishness. Weight Watchers often use and lose weight when they include distilled water in their diet. Is your body craving for more water?
His website is themedicineman.com.
Who is Dr. Charlie Rouse? Dr. Rouse is a pharmacist with a degree from the University of Georgia College of Pharmacy. He is an expert in the world of natural medicine. He is the founder and owner of the Medicine Man's Corner, a business which specializes in pharmaceutical-grade nutritional vitamins, natural products, and more. Dr. Rouse is a natural product formulator, writer, author, lecturer, and radio and TV personality. Dr. Rouse is a husband and father. He is also a Christian who really cares about helping people. For more information on the many products Dr. Rouse has to offer, visit his website, themedicineman.com. You can contact Dr. Rouse through his website, or you can email him at drrouse@att.net. That's DOCTORROUSE@att.net. Or you can call Dr. Rouse at 229-436-0100 to set up a confidential professional healthcare consultation in person, over the phone, or on the internet. Dr. Rouse would love to hear from you.
Welcome back to Your Health Today with Dr. Charlie Rouse.
And we're back on our program, and thank you for joining us today on Your Health Today with Dr. Charlie Rouse. So Dr. Rouse, at 2020, in January, a year ago almost, in 2020, Miss Harris and I, my wife, decided, we're going to have a little change in life and come to a home that we've owned but hadn't lived in for a long time, and carry on some ministry. And I love doing the broadcasting and podcasting. And so we came with full anticipation that 2020 is just going to be this great year. And it was a great year, but it was a weird year. That's the word I use. It was weird with all this COVID thing. But the Lord has been good, and I have had many opportunities to preach His word and to minister and to try to serve Him. And also, it's been wonderful to be able to come back together. Many years ago, we had a radio program, and now we're back together podcasting. We didn't even know what podcasting was back then. But this has been a wonderful opportunity, and I love ministering with you in this particular way. But here we are, 2021, just a few days away as we record our program today. And so, it's a time for a new beginning. A lot of people have resolutions. I don't necessarily do resolutions, but I do kind of look at January 1st as a time to kind of reassess things, look at things, and maybe make some plans for myself physically and maybe sometimes financially, and of course, always looking for spiritual things as well. So, in speaking of nutrition and health, if someone comes to you and they're just a blank slate, they're not taking anything, what would you suggest to anyone just in general? Okay, for 2021, this is a good nutrition for you to start. Where would you start someone in a situation like that?
It's a question I get almost every day. And if you want to stay healthy and feel great, protect yourself, know that you're energized, feel younger, spiffier, spunkier, and know that your body has what it needs, then we say nutritionally, eat your fruits and vegetables. However, it's not an easy thing. Yeah. So trying to go out here and drink the right amount of water, eat fruit and vegetables. So we had our lab in Atlanta, Georgia. We said, look, if you could take the most powerful nutritions on the world market from all the fruits and all the vegetables, I think things that people won't eat, like the Brussels sprouts and the spinach and the collard greens, the things that they don't always eat, and bring on the carrots and the cauliflower and bring on the peas and the corn and everything that's utilized, could we make it into a tablet? And my lab said, let's work on it. So they did. They empowered through the powders of all these fruits and vegetables. And then they had this unique powder. And they said, okay, do we encapsulate it? And they tried it, and it came out to be 6 capsules. I said,
oh, boy.
That's not going to do. I can't get Chris to swallow one.
I try.
And so they said, well, let's take it over to the tablet side of and they compressed it into a nice, smooth, easy to swallow tablet. And there it is. Oh. And we call it Life's Vitality. Yeah. Life's Vitality. Some of the bottles are, we're selling the product so fast that we just have to label it. But sometimes we can get over there in the computer and relabel it. It actually has a picture of Dr. Charlie.
Well, it needs to have a picture of Dr. Charlie.
And when you think about all the antioxidants and all the B vitamins and all the protectors, it's all in there. Yeah. Because the truth is, God put it all in the fruits and the vegetables.
How about that? Yeah. And we live in a fast food world, and we have a lot of men and women, of course, working outside the home. They come home, they get with the kids, and they're tired. And when I was growing up, my mom was a homemaker, and I was raised on a farm. Boy, we would come in for lunch or supper from the farm work, and she would have this just beautiful meal with all the vegetables and all the good stuff in there. But a lot of folks, their life is so busy. They're working, and they just want to put something kind of quick, but don't have, a little nutritious on the table for their family. And so a supplement like that would really help to fill in the gaps of what a family may not be getting at the meal table.
You take a fast food today, we used to be able to pull up and go inside, at least sit down, and now we got to go through the drive-through and eat on the go. And you say, well, what am I going to get? They say, you're going to get a sandwich and a bun, or are you going to get a tater chip or a French fry? And then you say, you can't eat a kale salad and drive down the road,
That's true.
So we're in a mess. Yeah. But at least if you started today with Life's Vitality, then I know that your mama will be proud of you, because we've given you all the fruits and all the vegetables that you would ever eat in the day.
Yeah. So, and something like that, now people maybe on a tight budget, but we're not talking about a great amount of money for this product.
No. We're talking about $19.95 for 120 pills.
Yeah, and that'd be a month's supply.
Or more than that for some. Some people are going to take one a day. Those that are into high fast life, they could take 3 a day. So I believe there is 90 pills in the bottle. 90 pills for $19.95. So,
you can't beat that for good health. And you can't, as we've heard often, you can't put a price tag on good health. So you can't do that. Let's talk a little bit about osteoporosis. Especially, I guess isn't that more of a lady thing than it is a male thing, osteoporosis? I know men have it as well, but why is that, I guess, more attached to females, and what can we do to help people?
Okay, good question. And yeah, the male is more protected because of testosterone, the T hormone. Testosterone builds our bones.
Yeah.
However, in the women, they're more prone to it because when their estrogen and their progesterone get out of balance, it's a hormonal thing, and 50 major hormones control the functions of the human body. And because women are lacking the assimilation of calcium, we're finding that they need help to get the calcium into their cell structure. We've used a lot of technology lately. Iproflavon is a plant, plant-derived, that pushes calcium in the right direction. And now we're learning that men, we don't want our calcium to go into our kidney and form a kidney stone.
Right.
And we don't want our calcium to go in our heart, cause us to have a heart attack. So now we're finding that men do well with K2. K2 puts the calcium where it needs to go, in the bone and not in the heart or the kidney.
K2.
K2 for the guy.
Yeah.
And iproflavon for the gal.
So Iproflavon Plus is something you offer. It has what you need,
right.
plus a little.
And whenever we did the plus, we recognized that D3 was part of the calcium regimen, and we needed a good calcium called citrate calcium, and with that plus factor. So Iproflavon does all the work, and then in comes just the right amount of calcium to make the bones super strong.
And you want your bones healthy because with the older generation, a lot of times you hear about someone falling and breaking a hip or something, but sometimes they actually break a hip and fall, don't they?
They do.
It's kind of the other way around because of the brittleness of their bones.
And in the prescription drug industry, they were using biphosphonates, or the chemistry is borrowed from a soap scum scrubber. And would you believe, Chris, they actually make a prescription drug with the same chemical bond that they use to make your shower stall or bathroom cleaner with. and then when the women swallow that pill, they tell them, whoa, now be sure, don't lay down. And be sure to drink lots of water, because a soap scum scrubber will burn a hole right through your stomach.
Wow.
And you can't take the pill and take a nap because it'll burn a hole in your stomach and kill you. But yet, they sell soap scum scrubbers under the prescription name to build bone density. So, not everything's kosher.
No, that doesn't sound anywhere near being kosher. Well, what about a young lady? Is it genetic? Is osteoporosis kind of a genetic thing?
Yeah.
So what about a young lady, 20s, 30s, and see maybe mom dealing with this, or, see it in the family? What can they do kind of to help strengthen them at that point in their life to make them stronger? Is it the same thing, Iproflavon?
Iproflavon would be the perfect nutrition. Perfect.
Yeah.
It does not interfere with any of the 50 major hormones. In chemistry or physiology, an osteoblast is going into the bone. An osteoclast is coming out of the bone. And you don't want to block that coming out, because you want it to go in and come out. You want the body to keep clean.
Right.
And Iproflavon makes the osteoblast push things in, and then the osteoclast let things out. Because if you mess with that cycle, you'll get an osteophyte, and we call it spurs.
Oh, boy.
You don't want a spur on the back of your neck or the back of your foot.
Never have had one of those, but I've been with people who have, and they're not a pleasant thing. Well, Dr. Rouse, this is the fastest, this is like 2020. This is the fastest 30 minutes I think we can have. Good program today, good information today. And we're just so happy that we've gone through and made it through Christmas of 2020, and we pray everyone is safe and well. And we're on the brink of a new year. And people are informed. We have the best audience in the world. They know what's going on in the world. We need to stay safe out there and keep our immune systems hitting on all cylinders so we can have good defense against what's happening in the world. All right, we're going to wrap up our program today, and we will certainly be back with more good information from Dr. Charlie Rouse. Dr. Rouse, thank you for all of this good stuff.
Hey, glutathione to you.
Oh, there you go. And our assignment for our audience is go home and learn how to spell glutathione. Oh, well. All right, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for joining us for our program today. You can reach Dr. Rouse online through his website, themedicineman.com, or you can email Dr. Rouse at drrouse@att.net. Dr. Rouse is also available by phone at 229-436-0100. Join us again next time for Your Health Today with Dr. Charlie Rouse. Until then, please stay safe and may God bless you.